Hi to anybody that might be watching this. I guess it's going to be recorded. I don't see there's anybody in here yet. I'm just kind of testing out this figure, the vertical live or the shorts live stream, to see what it's about. See if maybe it's something you guys would like. I know it's rather late in the day on the East Coast of America, which I think there's a lot of my viewers are in. But yeah, as you can see, I'm in my normal room where I shoot my videos at. Um, like I said, I'm just kind of checking this out, see what it's about, see how it works. Hopefully, someone jumps in here. I could get something to talk about. I don't have really anything to talk about. I just got done shooting a video. Well, I'll talk about that if you're going to watch this later. I just got done shooting a video that I'm about to go and edit for a review of the Netflix series, The Queen of Villains, with Dump Matsumoto, her story. So that's kind of why I'm in this room here. I do see, hey, looks like I got a viewer. Hey, viewer, say hi. Welcome. Like I said, I don't have really anything I'm talking about here. I thought that the chat came up, but I don't know if I'm even going to be able to see the chat on this. I don't know how this works. So if I don't respond to you when you're asking me or talking to me, I'm sorry. Oh, looks like I got two. Hey, everybody. Like I said, I'm just kind of testing this feature out, see what it's about. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to talk about, jump right in. Feel free to shoot a message here. Um, I don't have a big enough fan base that I'm going to charge you to answer a question. I might at some point if I had 1,000 people in here. But like I said, I just got done shooting a video review for The Queen of Villains. That should be out probably either 2-3 hours from now, or I may schedule it for the afternoon tomorrow, depending on exactly when I get it done. There's about 35 minutes of raw footage that I'm going to have to cut down a bit because that's just a very long video, and I don't expect you guys to watch something that long. There's a lot of redundancy. As you can see here, I'm saying a lot. So there's all that I'm having to take out. Oh, looks like we got quite a bit of people here. That's awesome. Hi, everybody. Like I said, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, Smackdown. I didn't watch Smackdown yet, so how was that tonight? Looks like I got something here. A couple highs. Hey, guys. If you see me leaning in, it's because I'm a little bit far away, so I can't really see. It's not that small from where I'm sitting. How was SmackDown tonight? I didn't get to watch it yet. I was watching the Queen of Villains. I watched all 5 episodes, which is about 6 hours. Hi, everybody. Dang, 22 people on here. That's awesome. I didn't expect this many people. You look great today. Love the shirt. Makes you look muscular. Thank you. I'll take that. Should I sub? That's up to you. I mean, if you find me interesting, yeah, I would say. I put out a lot of shorts. I put a couple shorts out a day. I do long-term videos or long-form videos about wrestling. A couple a week. Do I play video games? I do, but not on stream. I don't really have. Well, I do have a capture card, but I don't have a setup. I kind of have a little bit of a niche audience. It's all professional wrestling stuff. I like the glasses, make you look like a teacher. Thank you. These are my Buddy Holly glasses. I call them that. And it's going to sound like the Weezer song. They'll look like Buddy Holly, but they're kind of in that style. These are my favorite pair, actually. What do I do on streaming? This is my first live stream. I'm just kind of testing this out. Kind of talking right now. Buddy Holly mentioned those look like my glasses. Cool. Jack Black. I've got that a lot, actually. I've heard a lot of people have said I look like Jack Black. I don't personally see it. I think Jack Black's a better looking man than me, but hey, Am I on a toilet pooping? No, I'm in. This is my my room where I shoot my long form videos here. And I'm at that's why you see the green screen behind me. And kind of like I said, I was just testing something out. I just got done shooting a video. If you're interested in pro wrestling, it's about the new Netflix series that came out a couple days ago, The Queen of Villains, about the wrestler Dump Matsumoto, who is one of my favorite Joshi wrestlers of all time. No, I'm better looking. I will take the compliment, but I agree to disagree with you. I think Jack Black is a very good looking man, and I'm sorry if this is bouncing around a lot. I just took it off so you can kind of see, like I said, that this is just my room here, and as you can see, I still have my lighting up from the video. My cheat sheet board that's behind, which you probably can't see because the lights are so bright. Do I have any animals? I do not, because the place I live in, they charge you extra to have pets. I do love pets. I'm a cat and dog lover. I am mildly allergic to cats, so I can't keep them, but I love visiting my friends with cats. Um, I've had fish mostly as my most normal pets. Do I watch Raw and Smackdown? Yes, I do. And Jesus has arrived. Hi, Jesus. Hi, everybody else that's saying hello. Um, Welcome. Like I said, there's really not. This just me kind of rambling here. Um, I do watch Raw and SmackDown. I don't review them, mostly because I'm a smaller channel, and I think channels like Cultaholic or Going in Raw or Wrestle Zone or um, tons of other people do that get more. I'm putting this away over here a bit. I love fish, cats, and dogs. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus, I hope you love everybody. I Who do I like on Raw? Gunther. Everybody likes Gunther. Jay Uso's awesome. He's doing some really good stuff. Boston Reed, I really love. Rhea Ripley, obviously. New Day, I like the story they're going with them. Um, Judgment Day is amazing. So yeah, and I mean basically everybody. I'm a fan of most. If you ever had an animal, that what was your favorite and what would it be? Deb, that's a good question. I'm a big dog guy. I had dogs all growing up. Like I said, I just can't have them where I live now. We had a Jack Russell for 20 years. That's probably my favorite pet of all time. I like bigger dogs too. I'm gonna move this again so I can see the chat a little better. And I'm joking about what I said. Do you like boys or girls? I didn't see that, but I'll tell you, I'm open. I am a straight male. I am an ally, though. I am all among the fact that if you love who you want to love, I don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit. So everybody's welcome here. Yeet. Nice. What is my favorite color? I do watch SmackDown, Luke, or Larry, I'm sorry. What's my favorite color? My two favorite colors are green and orange. I'm originally from just outside of Philadelphia, so I'm a huge Philadelphia Flyers and Philadelphia Eagles fan. So those are my two favorite colors, basically the colors of the team. Do I have any siblings, children, grandchildren, or cousins? I have a brother and sister. I have another brother that passed away. I have numerous cousins. No kids or grandkids, unfortunately. Just didn't work out that way for me. Um, Go Phillies! Yeah, I see the Phillies. That was something I seen popped up while I was watching the Queen of Villains, that the Phillies had clinched the playoffs. So go Phils. Um, Not a huge baseball fan, but I will cheer on the Phillies. Like I said, I'm from just outside of Philadelphia, so of course I am going to love the Sixers too. What does Why does WWE have like 28 belts? And I'm sorry if you guys, I know it looks silly. I could see myself. It looks silly when I read these, but it's just how the lighting is here. Um Kelly, that's a good question. I think they do have too many. The easy answer is so they can have more wrestlers with something to do. It's an easy storyline. Wrestler A wants to fight Wrestler B for Championship C. I do think it is overkill. I'm not a huge fan of there being two world champions. I do like the two wrestlers that are world champions, but I think it just makes stories easier for them. That's the main reason. Is that? I've never seen that. Rosio, am I pronouncing that right? I've never seen that emoji. Is that pink poop? That's kind of awesome. Or I guess it's strawberry ice cream, but that's cool. I've never seen that emoji before. But yeah, so I agree with you. I think both WWE and AEW can get rid of some of the belts and be more interesting. If every match is a title match, even most of the titles mean nothing. All hail the participation trophy era. I'm in agreement. As you may be able to tell by the massively gray beard, I'm 47. I've been watching wrestling since I was about 5 or 6. My mom says earlier, but I don't remember than that. So I'm from the era I grew up watching WWF. I'm from the era that there were three championships: the Intercontinental, the World Title, Tag Title, and maybe the Women's Title here and there. So you were either going for that or you weren't going for anything, and it made everything special. I can probably, in my head, think of the first Intercontinental and World Champions probably all the way up through the Attitude Era. But then when it starts getting convoluted, the more titles they announce, the more everything bounces around. I lose the plot. I honestly couldn't tell you, like with the Intercontinental Championship, for instance. I know Sami Zayn's got it now. I knew he wanted off Gunther. I think Gunther beat Nakamura for it. I honestly can't really remember. That's how unimportant it's become. I used to be able to say, like, Roddy Piper wanted off of Bret Hart, or, go through the whole lineage. Let's see what we have here. I'm 48 and been watching since you were 6 or 7. Right on. I quit watching when they started doing the draft. I understand. Who's my favorite wrestler in WWF? Overall, overall, and this is going to sound like the guy that they're marketing to, but he's been my favorite for a while. Overall, it's Cody Rhodes. I really like AJ Styles, as you can see by the AJ Styles shirt. I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. I love Gunther. Rhea Ripley's up there. Cody would probably be my top guy. There's a lot of reasons with that. I've met Cody quite a few times, and he has to be one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Not just wrestler-wise, just human being in general. So, yeah. That's probably my favorite. I'm a huge Bayley fan. Bayley, I currently live in Florida, and I've lived in Florida for quite a while. So I was here while Bayley was in NXT and went to a lot of the NXT house shows when she was still doing the hugger gimmick. And much like Cody Rhodes, and this is where I get a lot of my fandom of guys or girls, she was so personable and so likable. And, I mean, look at me. I'm a big guy. I'm a hairy guy. She came over and gave me a hug when she was in the hugger gimmick. So she was very, very nice. So she's another person that I always root for. Trying to think other wrestlers I always root for just because they were super nice. Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods, very nice human being. Trying to think who else. There's plenty, but it's just not coming off the top of my head. Long live the original Demolition. Still wrestling today. I love Demolition. I hate the narrative that they're just a Road Warrior ripoff, because I don't think they are. I think they're very different than the Road Warriors. Both are equally awesome. They're both awesome teams, in my opinion. I like both. So, yeah, long live Demolition. Axe and Smash forever. I even like Crush. Crush was cool. I even remember when Smash was originally one of the Moondogs. I forget which Moondog it was, but he was one of the Moondogs. What's I'm trying to read everything. Isn't WWE fake or something? I'd put it in the or something category. I wouldn't say it's necessarily fake. Scripted's probably a better word. But yeah, not necessarily fake. Let's see what we have here. Mine is the DX generation. Not with everybody, just Shawn Michaels and King of the Kings in the ring. Okay. I see that. So you're an Attitude Era fan, which was fun. I have found going back and trying to watch the Attitude Era stuff. There's a lot of cringy stuff now. Hello, Peter. Okay. Maybe you think I'm Peter Griffin? Is that what you're getting at? I've heard that before as well. I would definitely identify as Smash if the LGHDMI TV wouldn't be offended by it. I'm a cool guy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Peter Griffin, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I kind of felt doing that. It kind of felt like the ice cream's so good. I know that's a fad that's died out over the last year, but you guys all remember that girl or all of those people that were doing that NPC streaming, which get your bag, but I just didn't see any joy in that personally. Started at the age of 6. Okay. Larry, if you don't mind, were you 6 during the Attitude Era, or were you a little bit older, and was it more age appropriate for you? Because I feel like if you were 6 watching the crotch chopping and DX stuff, that's a little questionable for a 6-year-old. No judgment, just saying. Um, hi you back, Rosia. I almost called you Rosario. Your picture and your name. I'm reading this off of my cam on my phone, so it's like this big. You almost look like Rosario Dawson. So I hope that's a compliment for you. I know it's meant as a compliment because Rosario Dawson is an amazing actress and a very beautiful woman. So hopefully that's a compliment. So if you hear me call you Rosario, that's because looking at the little tiny picture and your little tiny name, it goes to Rosario in my brain, which is filled with mush. Open a can of whoop ass. I don't have any cans of whoop ass. I do have cans of Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer, which is middle of the road. I'm not a Hogan fan much. I had to try it just to try it though. I'm now I'm 13. My dad got me into wrestling. Well, he was the one who got me to like DX. Okay, all right, Larry, that's cool. So you're watching now basically what happened almost 25 years ago, or more than 25 years ago now. That's awesome. Is there? Now I'm going to ask you because is there a specific reason why DX, as opposed to like let's say The Rock or trying to remember who all was big. Obviously, The Rock was huge then. The Rock or the Ministry of Darkness Undertaker was around that time, or King, or Mankind. Um, is there a reason why you like DX over those guys? I'm a huge Mankind. Mankind is probably in my top 5 wrestlers of all time. Kane too. Kane's probably in my top 10 wrestlers of all time. Or am I chill right now? Um, I'd like to say I am Rosia. I hope so. I hope I'm coming over as such. Like I said, this is unplanned, off the cuff, just kind of going with what you guys are talking with me about. So yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm coming over chill. I feel like I'm a chill person. It's kind of hard to judge. I feel like there's a lot of word salad because I'm the only one here looking at chat. I can see you guys chatting, but I'm the only one talking, so it does feel like maybe I'm a little bit long winded and stuff. But I guess that's kind of the vibe you would get when you do something like this, doing these live streams. So yeah, hopefully I'm coming over chill. You guys have all been awesome so far, so thank you. This is a lot better reception than I thought it was going to be. I think right now looks like we have 56 people in the chat. I was thinking I was probably going to be on here maybe 5 minutes just to test it out to see what it's like. I've got this very much rigged up to where it's a computer monitor and a notepad holding up my phone right now. Bye. I'm guessing you're going to bed, Larry. I hope you have a great night. I don't know. I like to rock and everybody else. Cool, cool. All right, Larry, well, you have a good night, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, basically, like I said, there's just kind of a stream of conscious thing. I was in my room already shooting a long form video, so I figured I'd give this a try, see what it was all about. I'm constantly getting emails that I should try it, so hey, sometimes you got to listen to your YouTube managers and do what they say or do what they recommend. They probably know better than I do, and if I'm gonna be honest and want to try and make a little bit of money off of this, probably a good idea to listen to them. So we do have, looks like we're losing some people, which is okay. I mean, it's looking at it's almost 1:20 in the morning. Let me get a hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's almost 1:20 in the morning on the East Coast. So I understand that we're losing people. Makes sense. I'm glad the guys that are in here are in here. I appreciate you. I'm probably not going to stay on here too much longer. Like I said, just a random chat, just basically talking about nothing. I will say, if you have subbed to the channel or if you plan on subbing to the channel, I am about to, as soon as I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to go edit a review of the show The Queen of Villains, which is a Netflix show about the life of Dump Matsumoto, who was a Japanese female wrestler in the 1980s. It's a really, really good show. I would definitely recommend it. I am about to do a review if you want to watch my review on it. That'll probably come out, looking at the time right now, I've got to edit down about 35 minutes of raw footage, so it's probably going to be something I put out around midday tomorrow. If I can get it done by like 3 a.m., I might just release it at 3 a.m. just so I can go to bed. What's my favorite wrestler? Currently, I would say Cody Rhodes. All-time Mankind Mick Foley. If we're going company to company, I'll even do show to show. Raw, I would say, is Rhea Ripley. I mean, who doesn't love Rhea? SmackDown's Cody. AEW. AEW is kind of hard. I kind of bounce between a few people that I really like there. Swerve Strickland's awesome. Darby Allin's awesome. TNA, I'm a big Jordan Grace fan. New Japan, I love Naito. I mean, who doesn't love Tetsuya Naito? I'm trying to think, what have I missed? NXT, I'm really big on Jada Parker. I think she's going to be a mega star. I've been really liking Ava as the GM in NXT. I wouldn't say I necessarily have a favorite in NXT because there's so many good talents that are right at that same level. I think Javon Evans is going to be someone that's really special. Trick Williams is going to be something really special. Obafemi. These are all people I think are going to be huge stars in the very, very near future. That women's roster in NXT is absolutely stacked. Um, Roxanne Perez, Julia, I'm trying to think, Tatum Paxley. It's one of those things that when you think of it in your head, that's when you forget everything. But yeah, how do I feel about wrestling today? So I might be the wrong person to ask that question because I'm kind of a wrestling super fan. As you may have seen, I just rattled off a lot of the major promotions. I'm someone that's probably going to watch every bit of wrestling from every company that I could get my hands on. I would say WWE is probably the best product right now. AEW is entertaining. I'm not someone that hates one over the other. I hope they're both very successful. I love New Japan. New Japan is kind of hard to catch because it comes with the time change. It's so hard to catch it, but I love the in ring style of New Japan. TNA, I probably see the most, or haven't seen the most, so it's hard to judge that really. I think it's good. Other stuff like MLW, NWA that I catch clips of, I like what I'm seeing. So I'm probably, to answer your question, I like wrestling. I'm probably the wrong guy because even bad wrestling I find joy in. Uh, have I ever played Robot? I'm not sure what Robot is. Do you mean Roblox or Astrobot? Is I'm not 100% sure, or if Robot's something different. I haven't played Roblox, I could tell you that. I haven't played Astrobot either, if that's what you're asking. Um, I played with toy robots, if that makes sense. I'm not, right now, I haven't played much gaming wise as far as newer games. Roblox. That's kind of what I thought you were getting at. I figured it auto corrected it to robot. That made the most sense. Um, so with Roblox and Minecraft, it's kind of the same for me as like how can I put this, like a RPG or something of that nature. I just don't have the time to dedicate to playing them. Most of the time now, if I play something, it's going to be something that I don't really have to commit more than 10, 15 minutes, maybe an hour or two at a time. Uh, Stuff like sports games or like Tony Hawk or throwback games, uh, retro games. I'm a big Castlevania fan, so I play a lot of the old Castlevania games. New games, not so much. I mean, like I said, it's just something. I think Roblox is cool. I love seeing what people do in it. I just don't have the time to devote myself to being good at it. So yeah, so I unfortunately I don't play that. I don't. Same reason I don't play Minecraft. Again, I think it looks cool. I think there's definitely aspects of it that look enjoyable. Just the learning curve to be decent at it is more than I have time for. But yeah, basically that's it. I do play. I play the wrestling video games. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about wrestling a lot of this live stream. I like Stone Cold Steve Austin. How do you like John Cena? All right, so John Cena. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of John Cena. I don't hate him. I'm not going to turn off a John Cena match. I'll watch a John Cena match. I think he is better than a lot of people give him credit for. I'm not a Cena hater. Um, but he's just not my cup of tea, wrestling wise. I think his promos are a little bit bland. I think his ring work is good, but it doesn't speak to me, if I'm being honest. What movies do I like? It's a wide range. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably upside down here. There, yeah, you probably can't see it because of the light. Let me see if I can get a view of it here. If you notice, trying to see, there's a Darth Vader tattoo on my arm. So obviously, I'm a Star Wars guy. I like everything from Oppenheimer, Barbie. I thought they were both awesome. I really like the Beetlejuice movie. Um, Deadpool and Wolverine I liked. I'm a huge Batman guy. I like all the Batman movies. A little bit of everything. Mean Girls, Pitch Perfect. I mean, there's pretty much something I like in almost every genre of movie. What's my favorite Royal Rumble? The two that come to mind, one I know the year for sure is 92. That's the one that Ric Flair won. The other would be, I'm not sure, I think it's 99 or it might even be 98. It's one of those 2 years, but it's the year that Mick Foley entered as all three of his characters as Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. I love that aspect of it. They're probably my two favorites to watch. 2016 is good, the one where AJ Styles debuted. I thought that was really good. I'm trying to think of what other ones really stick out. The three that Stone Cold won were all really good. I liked all three of those. Got a big woo! Rosie, I see you're leaving. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Frank, who is your favorite wrestler that's no longer with us? Frank, you're my brother, so you probably know all of my favorite wrestlers. I have to go with Terry Funk. Terry Funk is great. I love Terry Funk. Brody Lee is awesome. Owen Hart, just some of the guys. Do I like the Hardy Boys? I like them. They're not my favorites. I think they're enjoyable. They're fun to watch. I like their matches. If we're talking about like the TLC era of the Hardy Boys with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian, probably they're my third favorite of the three. But I do enjoy them. I really like the broken versions of them before it got too far, which it was too far from the beginning, but I did like that. I thought they were cool. What impossible matchups would I love to see? Um, so impossible matchups. Okay. So I'm guessing you're meaning someone that's guys that are just either dead or their errors are totally off. It's a good one. Terry Funk and Jay Briscoe would have been a great one to watch. Terry Funk is amazing. I'd love to see Undertaker and Sting is one that everybody wanted to see, so let's throw that on there because it's Undertaker versus Sting. Um, I'd love to see someone like the Great Muta versus someone from today, maybe Naito versus the Great Muta. That would be great. Obafemi versus Shawn Michaels, I think, would be really good just to see how Shawn would work with him. Trying to think of who else is there. The Dudley Boys and the Road Warriors is one that I think should have happened at some point, and I'm very upset that it didn't. Rob Van Dam versus Kenny Omega would be a great one. That could still happen, but I mean, let's be honest, we're at a very much end of his career, Rob Van Dam, right now. Um, I'd love to see Raven going up against someone like Bray Wyatt. That would have been really cool. Kind of have a similar vibe. Raven versus any like super white meat baby face like Ricky Steamboat would be awesome too. How about Rikishi? Rikishi's awesome. I mean, there's no way about that. I like Rikishi. It's hard to look at somebody like Rikishi or someone like an R-Truth and not get joy out of them. I wouldn't want to take the stink face, but I will watch it and laugh and love watching him dance every time I see him. So yeah, Rikishi is amazing. I mean, as you can see, his bloodline is carrying on and doing great things in pro wrestling right now. And as I can see, it's getting late because I see the numbers are dropping off, which, like I said, I understand. Like, this was just a test. I'll probably, if I go do this again, the next time will probably be a lot earlier in the day. Just kind of wanted to test this feature out. Like I said, I was already in the room I used to shoot my stuff, so yeah. Probably gonna wind this up here. Anyone else? Any questions you guys might have? Anything else you wanna talk about before we go off of here? And I take that as a no. It was really awesome seeing the number of people that did jump in here. Like I said, I was only expecting maybe 2 or 3 people, and we just jumped up to 39. Maybe I'll stick around a little bit longer. Uh, yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, I was just testing this. I was expecting maybe 2, 3 people max through the whole stream. There's been pretty solid. We've been up to the late 40s, or which doesn't seem like probably a lot if you watch someone like a Moist Critical stream or a Hasanabi stream. But for me, that's uh that's very impressive. It's I'm very proud of that. If you guys see Frank with the Fallout picture there, Frank is my brother, so say hi to Frank. Keep up the great work on the channel. Thank you so much, Six Figure Toys. I appreciate that. Six Figure Toys. That name sounds so familiar. Do you do? Do you do? I'm guessing you probably do. Do you do a lot of toy reviews? Because I want to say I've seen videos with that name. And yes, Frank is right. Sometimes I'm not as cool. Sometimes I'm a total jerk. I don't want to curse on here because I don't know how old some of you guys are. And I want to keep this kind of PG. Um, but yeah, no reviews, but I comment on my fair share. Okay, maybe that's where I've seen because I know I've seen that name before. Um, but yeah, it makes sense. But thank you. I appreciate all the good words. I appreciate the kindness. So Six Figure Toys, being that that's your name, very interesting name. What would you say is your favorite expensive toy that you have since it is Six Figure Toys? Let me see if I have anything nearby. I wouldn't say that this is expensive, but this is one of my favorite wrestling toys that is just nearby. I have it in here for a video I actually made about a month ago about Kevin Sullivan. And this is one of my favorites. I love that Kevin Sullivan figure. It's one of the few that I have in box. Um, the real, the real Hurricane Rana Funk. Hello, hello. I like that name. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you. I don't consider these toys. I got some of these McFarlane Eagles figures here. Uh, got a Randall Cunningham one. There's a whole pile of toys over here on my side that's kind of a mess. Real Hurricane Rhino Funk. Um, I've answered a couple times. I'll answer it again. My favorite wrestler currently is Cody Rhodes. All time is Mick Foley. And I mean, I think we could. I think most of us like those guys. I'm trying to look here for six figure. That name Six Figure Toys got me looking at my toys here. I kind of show you it's a mess of a stacking right now. Over there is a lot of my wrestling figures, which I need to rearrange. But yeah. What about Man Pondo? I like Pondo. I'm not huge on death matches, but I do like Pondo. I like his stuff with that he did with Juggalo Championship Wrestling. That's some of the that Sullivan is one of the best of that series. I have an SN exclusive Marvel Legends Wrestling and GI Joe collection. Picking one is hard. Okay, I agree. Um, I'm not a huge fan of this classic series, but this Sullivan is really good. The other one I think that's probably my favorite from that series. They did a really good Sandman in that style. Rick Rude, Mega Heel. Rick Rude is probably one of the best heels of all time. Uh, he's if I had a nice and arranged toy pile over there. There's a Rick Rude figure somewhere in there. There might be even more than one. I don't see where I can. I don't have one where I can just grab them easily, or else I would. Oh, got a Jimmy Uso right there. But anyway, yeah, I don't see a Rick Rude that I can that's within reach. There's kind of a between me and that. There's a little. You probably can't hear it, but there's an end table right there that I'm bouncing into. Real Hurricane Rana. Funk, you have a great day. You too, man. Thank you. Or woman. I don't know. What about Mysterio? Rey Mysterio is absolute legend. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Rey Mysterio is one of the greats of all time. In my opinion, he's probably the greatest high flying wrestler of all time. You can't really argue with 30 years of him being on the top of pro wrestling, wrestling some of the wrestlers he did. Everybody from Big Show and Kane to Eddie Guerrero to Dean Malenko. So yeah, there's a new Sandman figure that just came out. Mattel Elite Style, worth picking up if you see it. I seen it. There's two variants. There's the one with the white shirt, and then there's a red shirt one. I like both of them. Um, I will say that the shirts are kind of, to me, and this is a good example, like the J right here. I would prefer they did the painted on shirt on these because when they do the cloth shirt, it's not always, it doesn't always come out great. And I think Sandman's one of those ones where the cloth shirt hasn't came out great on it. I think it kind of looks big and cheap. Eddie was looking, yeah, Eddie was great. Eddie Guerrero is probably as responsible, like it or hate it, for the current generation and how wrestling is as anybody else. So yeah, Eddie was amazing. Probably am going to pick up that Sandman just because I'm a Sandman fan. And my stepfather, who I'll give you a little bit of story here. Um, my stepfather, who wasn't a wrestling fan, he just passed away about 2 years ago. Going to be 3 years ago, come November. He, when I was a teenager, we were living outside of Philadelphia, so he would take me to the ECW matches. And the first time we go to ECW, it was in Trenton, New Jersey, in the Trenton minor league baseball team stadium. And he doesn't know anything about wrestling. He didn't watch it. He just took me there because he was a good stepdad. And he was a drinker. My stepdad was a drinker. He liked to drink a lot of whiskey and a lot of beer. That day, the Sandman had, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember these, But Budweiser had these things called party bubbles that were like a quarter keg or an eighth of a keg, basically like 3 cases of beer in a little mini keg that you could throw away. Sandman had that with him, and he was drinking it from the time we arrived there at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because I think there was a meet and greet or there was something that you came there early for, and then he was in the main event of the show. So he was drinking, and you could see him drinking it the entire time because you could see everybody basically. And by the time we got to the match, Sandman was so hammered. My stepdad, he looked at him and he said this. He goes, Sandman is my favorite wrestler because he's drunker than me. And that was always my thing with him. He would always ask me, does that drunk guy still wrestle? Is he still around? He loved the Sandman just because Sandman was the only guy there that drank more beer than he did that day. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's probably a better story memory for me than it is for you guys. But yeah, just one of those things. That's one of the reasons he stood out to me. I love the Sandman. I mean, I'm a huge ECW guy, so I mean, Sandman's right up there. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Six Finger Toys. Thank you. All those kind words. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't expect anybody to jump on this, which I appreciate everybody that has. And I kind of expected a little bit of hate on here, which it's the internet. You kind of expect that with everything. So thank you guys. It's been very positive. I appreciate that. If you knew the kind of day I was having, it does put a smile on my face. It's just not been a great day. Other than this, I have a flat tire on my car, which is not fun, and I'm not going to go too far into that. We'll keep the negativity out. This has been a good stream. Like I said, you guys have really brightened me up a little bit, gave me a little bit of a smile, something to smile about. I appreciate all the kind words. But yeah, I mean, don't let that hold you down. The storms never last. I'm trying. That's why I'm really trying to be very positive on here. It really helped to jump on and make my video earlier and then do this live stream now. Making my video earlier gave me that distraction to get me out of the mindset, which a lot of times is what helps me get out of funks, is just taking myself out of the mindset. Watching what ended up being 6 hours of a TV show, it really took my mind out of the mindset. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I grew up in the USWA territory. One of my great memories was of that time was meeting Raven. He was also known as Scotty Anthony then. And Brian Christopher after show. Dude, that's awesome. I would have loved to met Brian Christopher. I never got a chance to meet him. I have met Raven, and it was very, very brief, and it was, I wouldn't say it was even meeting him. It was more, I seen him going into the ECW arena and basically said hello to him. I hope he was cool. I've heard that depending on how bad his addiction was at the time, he may have not got a good experience. I'm guessing if it was a Memphis time, that would have been, what, late 80s, early 90s-ish, 90, 91. So maybe he didn't, I know Memphis, he didn't get paid a whole lot. I know it was his first real territory, so maybe he didn't have the addiction yet. Christopher probably did. 93, yeah. I knew it was somewhere around there. But yeah, so she was, I hope you had a good experience. You ever watched Xena? She was my crush at the time. Are you talking about Xena Warrior Princess? That's the Xena that comes to my mind. If you are, then yeah, I agree. She was a very, very attractive woman. Yep, yeah, she was amazing. I think I keep going to stuff. This is kind of my catch-all room here that I have everything in. There's, if you hear what I'm moving, that's a bunch of old cartridge-style video games. But I'm pretty sure, unless I packaged it up in something, because I am I am trying to organize this, and sorry, I know you guys are seeing the side of my face. Sorry about that. I know somewhere in here there's a Xena Warrior Princess game. I want to say, I know it's in with my Super Nintendo games, which there's a ton of right here. Sorry. That doesn't look like it's in here. I was going to show you my Xena Warrior Princess game, but it's not here. But if you like Fester's Quest, or Uncle Fester, or Wall Street Kid, which is just a crap game, but I like crap games. Metal Man. Here's one. Terrible game, but I have two versions of this. I have this, and I have a plug-and-play version of it, the WrestleMania Challenge. Yoshi's Cookie. I actually like that game a lot. You're going to notice as I point these out, I like bad licensed games like Karate Kid, MTV Remote Control, Puss in Boots, Toys, which was a very niche movie. I don't think that movie did very well. I might be wrong, but and then you got like Scooby-Doo. Like I said, this one, Lucia. This actually like a $200 game that my friend gave me just because he's an awesome dude. Daffy Duck. Like I said, I like bad licensed games. This is actually a good licensed game. Spider-Man and X-Men. Very cool that you got to go to the ECW Arena. I was never able to pull it off. ECW Arena was awesome. It's probably my favorite place that I've ever seen a wrestling show. But yeah, so I'm sorry that you haven't got a chance. I would still say go there because it is still up. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar enough. Sorry. I'm just re-putting this stuff over here now that I tried to find something that wasn't over here. But here's an awesome classic game, Mega Man X. Another one, Final Fantasy II. Amazing classic game. And my pile that I just had over there, I'll fix that later. It just fell over. Cool. Mega Man, hell yeah. I'm a big fan of the Mega Man games. They're really, really fun to play. Like I was saying earlier, I forget who it was that asked me about Roblox. I don't really have the time to dig into something like a Roblox, so something like a Mega Man, where I could pick a level and just play the level, I'm probably going to go back to more often. Just knocked my camera off the thing a bit. But yeah. So you can see, like I said, this is kind of my catch-all. I mean, I got everything from earbuds, pocket knife, hockey ball, fidget spinner. Actually, a Booker T spinnerini. I don't know if you can see that. A spinnerini fidget spinner and bottle opener. It's kind of my work desk, so I have stuff like that I play with here. Double Dragon. Okay. So let's get into this here. The NES Double Dragon is good. If you haven't played a ROM of what would have been the arcade version of Double Dragon, the arcade version of Double Dragon is a million times better in my opinion. I hope you feel that way as well. Killer Instinct. I love Killer Instinct. Very, very fun. Underrated fighting game. It gets kind of pushed to the back with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter being the two big ones. Soul Calibur, Tekken also get pushed ahead of it. But Killer Instinct were really, really fun games to play. The classics hold up to the day. Yeah, they do. I kind of think about that, like, and a lot of it's nostalgia. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm almost 50 now, so I played a lot of these as I was a kid. But I do think there's a lot more playability. Like, for instance, this Castlevania, which is not one of the better Castlevania games, but still pretty good. I probably play this over one of the newer Assassin's Creed games that were good. I just don't have the replay or the want to replay them as much as something like that. And a lot of it, I know a lot of it's tied to nostalgia and that feeling you get when you think of the first time you played that, getting your first Nintendo 64, Atari if you're older than me, um, maybe PlayStation 2, 3, or 4 if you're younger. Maybe your first system was a Wii, which is cool. Almost yeeted Jay over there. I was thinking if I could throw him comfortably. And speaking, I'm going to try and grab this hopefully of ECW and toys. I'm just going to bring this because this was one that was right close enough for me to kind of grab. Here's an ECW San Francisco toy maker Balls Mahoney. I'm trying to read what it says on the stomach. Dungeon. It's probably the best Balls Mahoney character ever. The only other one I think they've ever made is in that classic line that I showed earlier. But yeah, I dig that Balls character. I used to love those OSFTM figures. So I do. Nice hearing you, brother. Good talk to you next time. You have a good one too. Thank you. I like them. There's a couple I don't like because they're just weird. I don't like what they did with the feet for Bubba Ray Dudley. Chris Candido, for some reason, no matter what position you put him in, he doesn't like to stand up. Bubba is the same way. Bubba's kind of weird like that. Depending on the Shane Douglas you have, I have the one with the normal head, but there's one that has a tiny head that doesn't fit his body. Looking at what I have right now that are there, I'm trying to think of who else in that line. The New Jack's awesome. I love the New Jack one. Sabu's probably my favorite version of Sabu. Other than that one, I guess if you consider I forget what the line's called, but there's like a kind of semi-statue Sabu that's better because it's a very detailed version of Sabu. But I like the ECW Sabu better out of the rest of them. I'm trying to see the Raven. The Raven's really good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Raven figure though. Talking about Raven that we mentioned earlier. So Raven's a guy I don't think he's ever got a really great figure. His ECW figure is good. His Jakks figures are okay. I don't like what they do with the hair on those. The TNA figures are good, but the clothes on them are kind of bad. The Mike Awesome is amazing. I love that. That is a great looking toy. Trying to think, the one Raven I do, the best Raven I think it's a WCW one called a Grip and Flip. It came in a 2-pack with DDP, and his hands are terrible because they're gigantic and they have magnets in them. But it's got the best face of a Raven toy that I've seen. The new one, I think it's Heels and Faces. The one that's supposed to look like an old Hasbro Raven. That's pretty good too, especially if you like the Hasbro series. I'm kind of hoping that, and you probably know this being your name Six Figure Toys, I'm hoping that Brian Myers and Matt Cardona put Raven in the Big Rubber Guys line because I think the Big Rubber Guys that they've been putting out look amazing. I don't have any of them yet. I want to get the Magnum TA. The Magnum TA looks great. The Bloody Ric Flair looks great. The Suit Ric Flair looks great. I'm trying to think of who else they've done. The British Bulldogs, they look amazing. All of the, I know they've done a couple Savages that look great. Yeah, I wish that Raven would sign a Legends deal for a Mattel figure. It's easily in my top 5 once. I wouldn't be against him getting a Jazzwares figure through AEW. Some of them, there's some that are wonky. They're not, the women are terrible. For the most part, they can't make a woman's figure to save their life. The Jamie Hayter's really good. But the rest of them are kind of really generic and they miss the face. There's a couple of them, like, I don't understand why the Dustin Rhodes figure is an inch taller than every other figure. But some of them are really good. I think the Orange Cassie's really good. The Darbys are really good. The Darby Allens. I'm trying to think of who else. I really love the Brody Lees that they put out. LJN style Raven would be cool. That Big Rubber Guys line is fun. Yeah, they're. I love them. To me, though, and it might just be me being a little bit on the cheap side, but I think they ask just a little bit too much for them. Now, for someone like Raven, I would probably pony up for it because I can almost guarantee they would have him in the classic, arms out Raven pose. They'd have to put him in that pose. And just for collectability, I would want that. Because it would just look so cool. And I know they got Ministry for his heels and faces, so I would hope they would get something like that for the t-shirt for that. But yeah, sorry, a little gnat just flew by my face. But yeah, I don't think anybody's ever done a proper, like, really, really good Raven figure, and I would love to see it. The TNA one, I like the face on the TNA, but everything else about that was bad. Plus the fact that when I think of Raven, I don't want the TNA era Raven. I want either the ECW or WCW era Raven, or I would love a Scotty the Body, Scotty Flamingo Raven. I know someone just put out a Scotty Flamingo a couple years back. I forget what company. It's the same company that did a. Who else did they do that I'm trying to think of? They did a Nick Mondo, and I forget who else, but those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head. I never got it because I'm going to be honest, it didn't look great. But I would love them doing a Legends deal because you could have that. You could have the Scotty Flamingo. You could have the Johnny Polo. You could have the different versions that they would put out. I think they would all sell very well. The cloth goods are exactly what it is. That the cloth goods and his body. He looks to me like in it looks like he's got He-Man figure proportions. If you remember the old He-Man figures, or even the new ones that they're putting out now, where their bodies are just overly jacked for no reason. I mean, Raven's not a small guy, but he wasn't like a huge bodybuilder guy at any point in his career. And those TNA figures, there are some that are good, especially I think it was Mattel that did them first before Jakks took over. The Mattel ones had some good ones. The Christopher Daniels Mattel one I really like. The AJ Styles Mattel one I really like. The Abyss one is the only actual good Abyss toy there is. I don't have that. I did at one point. I don't know what happened to it. I had the Abyss. The only ones I still have. I have those. I have the later Jay Lethal Jakks figure one, the one where he's in Black Machismo character. And I think oddly I have a Rob Terry TNA figure. I don't know why. I don't remember how I got him. I would have never bought him. He may have came in. I want to say he probably came. TNA used to do a thing called brown bag special where you could either order online or if you went to one of their shows, you could get like a brown knapsack that would have random things in there. It would be you'd be guaranteed like two T-shirts, a DVD, and then whatever other random stuff they wanted to throw in there. I think that's how I got him. And the T-shirts would always be something old. I did get a really cool T-shirt in one of those one time. I got a Kurt Angle shirt. I got a lot. I would buy them because I would go to when they did the Universal tapings. I lived close enough that I would go to them semi regularly. I did get a Kurt Angle shirt once. I got a lot of the TNA Impact or TNA logo shirts. The really cool one I got, my favorite one that I ever pulled out of one of those mystery bags was an awesome Kong shirt, which was kind of a little bit darker than this shirt, but it was cool because you don't see many of those awesome Kong shirts. I never found the Rob Terry, one of the few I never had. It's terrible. The only reason I know it's Rob Terry is the hair. As you know, because it's this style, basically, of Jakks, like the one that we complained about earlier, where everybody had, like, there were three body types that they switched back from, which, I mean, even Mattel does it like this. These arms are probably the same arms that they use for, or the same mold they use for Randy Orton. Anybody that has pants probably has the same pants. I know the shoes look, I know a lot of companies do it because it's cheap, but when Rob Terry's the same size as Jay Lethal or any of the X Division characters, yeah, you're doing it wrong. It just doesn't look right. And ever since I pulled that fidget spinner, I've been kind of playing with it here. Like I said, this is my normal. I do use this as an office at times. So I have a lot of little stuff like that to kind of distract me while I'm doing office work. This is not part of my office work. This was for a video I shot a couple weeks back. Doing, what was this for? The Terramana tequila. I tried the rocks tequila, so that's why this is here. I just haven't put it back with my other shot glasses. Jakks used to make Rey Mysterios that could look the Undertaker in the eyes. Yeah, I remember that. I know exactly that. And that Rey body that they used it on probably 100 different versions. They just changed the paint scheme on them, and it was, I mean, it looked okay. The head was good. I think Rey Mysterio is one of those ones you can't mess up the head mold much. I mean, even going back to the original WCW ones when the unmasked one was, he kind of looks like a hunchback in that, but the masked ones, even then, you can't really mess up Rey Mysterio's mask. But those Jack ones, they were so generic. I think that's what killed the line. That and they just overflooded the marketplace, and every line had a scene in it. Every line had a Mysterio in it. I want to say almost every line had a Randy Orton in it. So who wants 30 different Randy Ortons unless you're just a Randy Orton super fan? I mean, what does he change? Maybe his logo's yellow instead of black. You know, maybe he's got another tattoo. Oh, no big real change. I mean, that Jakks line it got bloated, and Mattel has some of the same issues. There's a ton of Roman figures, but Roman changes his look enough that it doesn't bother me as much as the as like the Randy one or even the Cena ones where it's just a change of paint color. Jake, do you think WCW missed a boat on a Raven versus Sting angle? It seemed like a long time ago, on my long-term videos or long-form videos, I do something every now and again called How I Would Have Booked, where I go back and either fix something historically or change something. And one of the ones I did was Raven in WCW. And for Raven, basically the crux of it, I'm not going to make you go back and watch it, but you can if you like. I'd appreciate that. Um, the crux of it was his career up until Starcade was basically the same. Starcade '97, and then going from Starcade '97, Sting wins Starcade cleanly, basically breaks up the NWO, which should have been the end of that story. That should have been the end of the Sting versus the NWO story, as he dismantled them at Starcade '97. And then his next feud would have been with Raven. So he would have went right from the NWO to the Flock and had some of the same problems with Raven. And in that story, I had Raven actually beating him because the story is him chasing, and now you have him going against another group of characters. You throw Saturn at him, you throw Kidman, Lodi, Sick Boy, Riggs, just like him having to beat the NWO again. I really think a Raven versus Sting feud, I would have absolutely loved that. The Raven, the Raven character, in my opinion, might be the most underused great character of all time, if that makes sense. Like, the character had so much potential to be an all-time great character, and it was great for what he did. I still say to this day my favorite story in wrestling is the Raven Tommy Dreamer feud in ECW. But Raven could have been as big as any wrestler in the world if it was played properly. And I think WCW missed about. I would have loved a Raven and Sting feud. I would have loved a Raven and Goldberg long term feud. I did love the Raven DDP feud that they had. I even liked the Raven and Guy Who Shall Not Be Named feud. I thought that was awesome. I mean, he had so much potential. And there were so many different interesting stories you could have told with him. Even a Raven versus Hogan feud I thought would have been great, or a Raven versus Scott Hall feud is something I would have loved to see. Or Raven, even if you go down to some of the, I don't want to say lesser guys, but lesser on the card guys, like a Raven versus Conan feud is something I would have loved. Um, Trying to think of who else on the roster that would have made Raven and Booker T. That would have been an amazing feud. Raven, when Booker T was building to become the world champion coming out of Harlem Heat, if one of the guys he had as a building block was Raven, he would have pulled the best out of Booker, I think. Not to say that Booker's not great, but you get what I'm getting at. I would have loved to see that. But yeah. You know what I also, here's one. Everybody says Sting and Undertaker. Speaking of Sting, I would have loved to see a Sting versus Kane in the original Kane iteration with the mask that covers his full face. I would have loved to see that feud too. I think that might have been an all timer. I never thought of a Raven versus Hall, but that could have really been big considering the minds involved. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's so many stories that could have been crafted with so many. See, and I know you seem to be around. I don't want to like say you're older, but you seem to be old enough to remember the time. A lot of people have this negative connotation of WCW where there was, even at their worst times, like 2000, 2001 WCW, there was still some great stuff going on there. The Booker T stuff, the Scott Steiner stuff. Um, I like the Vampiro stuff. I thought Vampiro's rise was good. I like the fact that they had the what were they called? With Jindrak and O'Hare and Mike Sanders, that whole group. I forget what their name. Natural Born Thrillers. That's what it was. There was some stuff that I think they were doing that was great. There was some stuff that was terrible. Vince Russo on my television is terrible. Um, Yeah, Bischoff at a point got a little bit too cocky and was wanting to scream too much. But here's one. Here's one we did get in TNA, but I think it would have been even cooler if we got in WCW. Raven versus Jeff Jarrett. Because the Raven versus Jeff Jarrett in TNA is a different version of both guys. And you being, I think it was you that mentioned that you watch USWA. Jeff Jarrett, that's another guy. Jeff Jarrett gets a lot of unwanted hatred. To me, for the time that Jeff Jarrett was in his prime, there were maybe four wrestlers in the world that were better than him. The most Russo part of WCW was rough for me, but 2001 they were really on track until the plug got pulled out. Yeah, yeah, they had AJ Styles was coming in. They had Air Paris, Elix Skipper. I'm trying to think who else was there at the very end. The recount. I thought the recount was something that I know they had broke up and they were going doing their own things. I think they were building to be something special. They could have. I think they could have been a lot bigger with a continuing WCW than they would have been in WWE. But yeah, there was some good there, and don't get me wrong, the Viagra on the pole matches were bad. Stuff like Asia, God bless her, but Asia was not good. The face heel turns for no reason, general erection, stuff of that nature, just bad. But there is some good there, guys. I appreciate. I do have to say because I'm looking at it right now. My battery is about to die, so I am going to jump off of this. I appreciate every one of you guys that have come in here. The next time, like I said, this was just something I was testing. I appreciate so much that so many people came in here. You don't know how happy that makes me. The next time I do this, I'll probably put something out on my community page on the Facebook. So if you guys want to come back, I'd love to have you back. But I'll probably do it earlier in the day because it's 2:12 a.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time. I'll probably try to do it somewhere around 8 or 9 p.m. So we're not all up at crazy hours of the night, and I still got to go edit a video down from 35 minutes to somewhere hopefully between 10 to 20 minutes to make it coherent. So yeah, I still got some editing work I got to do. Plus, like I said, my phone's dying. I really enjoyed speaking with you guys. I really thank you all from coming in here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you again for jumping in on my first attempt at a live stream. Next one, I'll probably schedule a little more. Maybe I'll have some topics I'll think about talking about. Maybe we'll just go off the cuff like we do here. But if you subscribe to the page or not, you don't have to. Just kind of come back and check the community page on the Facebook because I'll probably post it there when I plan on going live and maybe even schedule one. But anyway, thank you all again. Like I said, I'm going to jump off of here because my battery has less than 10% to go, and I don't know how much battery power this is sucking up, so I don't want it to cut me off in the middle of talking to you nice people. I hope you have a great evening. Enjoy talking to you. Keep up the great work on here. Thank you. I look forward to your content when it goes up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for coming in here. Thank you for making this what I would consider a success. I hope you all have a great evening. With all that being said, my name's been George Coles. In case you didn't know, and you just see the whole heel heat, my name's George Coles. I appreciate all you. Thank you again.